Welcome back to the 2020 school year. I'm Mr. Ryan. I'd like to introduce you to how we're going to have our Earth Science class this year. So I'd like to try to make no longer than a 10-minute video, giving you quick highlights on this introduction, as well as 10-minute videos for future installments as well. I'm going to be working predominantly off of Google Slides. I'm going to call them work guides. So this first work guide is going to be an introduction to how to utilize all work guides, as well as how to complete all work for the school year. Things you're going to need for this class. Check it out here. Most important thing, you're probably going to want to have headphones. Yes, you're going to want headphones so that you can listen to videos if you're here in my class, or even if you're at home so you don't disturb others. There is an Earth Science contract that is a student responsibility. I would like you to please try to look it over as soon as you can. Click for the contract here to read it. Down here there's a Google form that you and your parent or guardian must fill out in order to signify that you agree with the terms of the contract and the grading policy. I don't know if there's going to be regents this year. We'll have to wait and see. Make sure that you complete this because it will be your first homework assignment, as it usually is for all classes during the year. Okay, how will class work? In class and remotely, I want you to be able to read through this. Feel free if you have any questions, make sure that you let me know. But the dominant way that we're going to be working is through these presentations. You will have links to documents such as your notes. You will have links to places for your practice questions. You will have links for lab and so on. Many of these links will also be accessible through Google Classroom. Student Learning Survey. This is going to help me gather a better understanding of you as a person so that we can generate a genuine relationship this year, and I can understand better how to serve you as your teacher. So this Student Learning Survey will help me do that. Please fill this out. I will again give you a bonus homework for this. So these are going to be the Google Classroom codes. I know that on your schedule you're going to be denoted as being a cohort A, B, C, or D, but here are the periods that will have those cohort designations. Here are the codes. Please join it. I will plan probably on setting up Google announcements that will speak specifically to each cohort within those periods. So don't worry about that. Examples of classroom announcements, you can take a look here, get a good idea of how those announcements might be structured, what type of information I will provide to you. What is a work guide? So here's a breakdown of what this presentation is, how they work, how I plan to use them. To which I have already given you some understanding of how it's going to work, in that you have links to materials that you're going to need. I will have videos that are going to be embedded in this presentation so that you will have an opportunity to watch, get a little bit of an understanding before you dive into doing some practice. I call this the mini lesson. I may have a mini lesson for a new topic. I may have a mini lesson walkthrough for a lab. The lab ones will probably be a little bit longer as they're going to walk you through more information, maybe even give you information that you have to watch to complete questions within the lab itself. Last year I utilized a paper copy of a calendar which indicated what was happening on days of the week. I'm going to be migrating over to Google Calendar to do this instead. I think it will suit the cohorts better in each of the class periods than doing it all on paper, since we're going to have somewhat of a staggered schedule in terms of the sequence of topics. Independent and group work models are here. This gives you an idea of the steps that I'd like all students to take in order for us to actively participate within the classroom. The group model set up in terms of what I'm expecting of you also in the remote environment. Submitting independent and group work will be done through a Google form. Here's an example of one. You'll be given instructions, the title, and then which questions you have to give me information for. As a quick side note, independent practice, you're never penalized for giving me the wrong answer. This is to give me feedback and you feedback on where you need to improve within the topic. These submissions will count as a homework grade, But remember, I want to see you trying your best. If you get all of them right, that's cool. If not, then we figure out how to help each other with that situation. Expectations when at home. There are guidelines of what I need you to do. When you're at home, I'm going to need you to be watching these short videos before you come into class, or if you're at home before attempting to do the independent practice questions. Class participation. Here's how it's going to work in the classroom and remotely. Class participation counts as 10% of your marking period grade. All of you start with a 100, and hopefully all of you will maintain that 100 or gain in that 100. Normally I will refer to them as CP points, class participation points, and they're going to be variously assigned throughout the marking period. But more importantly, when we are in the setting of the room, or you are maybe in Zoom or elsewhere, participating by submitting answers, typing them in, and sending them in on a form is also going to impact class participation grade. Okay. Labs will be conducted all virtually. All materials and or measurements will be conducted visually on a video. You will be taking that information off the video and discussing, determining, observing, making some sort of analysis. Lab reports will be filled out online. That is for everyone. Expectations for group projects. Just understand that in a collaborative environment, we can do it remotely, we can do it in class, but what's going to be important is that you may end up as a mixture of individuals. So your group may not be just the people in your classroom physically. It may not just be the people out there remotely. You may be working with people in classroom and remote simultaneously to complete group projects. Okay? The semester 1 project you can see here. You can already get an idea of what it is. That will be further discussed later on. All of you will be given a Castle Learning login. Okay, that login, to give you for short, will be your ID number that you have at the school, the one that you enter in from your ID. You will create your own password. So I'll give you the walkthrough now. You enter your student number in the username, leave the password section blank, hit sign in, and then you create your own password. Once you're there, you will navigate your way to incomplete assignments, and inside the incomplete assignment section, you will see whether or not I have something there assigned to you. It will be dominantly your assessments. It could be a quiz assessment, it could be an exam assessment. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message either through Jupiter, my email, mryan36@schools.nyc.gov, or ryan@universityneighborhoodhs.org. You'll find all of that also in the contract. Thanks. See you on the next one.